I accidentally found out my son seemed to be bullied by his classmates. When I was in the bathroom getting ready to wash clothes, I saw the floor covered with hair my son had cut off. The next night when I got home from work, I noticed one of my son's shoes was missing. I asked him what happened to his hair and his shoe, but he changed the subject, saying nothing was wrong. One morning after that, I found his water bottle filled with mud. These unusual behaviors made me realize my son was being bullied at school, especially that night, when I got off work and found John wasn't home. So I drove to the nearby woods to look for him. I found his bike by the mountain road. Then I followed an abandoned railway for a long time, and finally found John in a dark tunnel on the way home. John apologized to me with guilt on his face. I wasn't angry and didn't blame him. I even comforted him gently. But before I could finish talking, John suddenly opened the car door and jumped out. I took him to the hospital for treatment. Out of worry, I also had him get a brain CT scan. Thankfully, he didn't injure his head and only had minor scrapes. After leaving the hospital, I kept comforting him, telling him not to blame himself. But when I reached out to touch his head, he suddenly lost control of his emotions. Seeing this left me confused. I didn't understand why my usually sweet and sensible son had become so irritable. Under my urgent questioning, John finally said the bully's name. I thought it would be another student, but it turned out to be John's teacher. So the next day I went to the school. I found the principal and told him exactly how the teacher had bullied my son, but the principal just quietly took notes. The next day I was called in again. The school had finished their investigation. The teacher was brought in by the administrators. He only admitted his teaching methods were problematic and denied hitting or scolding students. Then all the administrators bowed to me and apologized, but none of them mentioned the bullying. They said they would sincerely accept my suggestions and provide better guidance for students in the future. At that moment, I felt completely helpless because nothing about my son being bullied had actually been resolved. One day after that, I ran into the principal at the supermarket. I saw him intentionally stick out his foot and trip a little girl who was just playing around. After doing something so awful, he acted like nothing happened, and a bad feeling started to grow in my heart.